this is Raging Amish, and welcome to my review of the SPAS. I must say, I'm experiencing a major case of deja vu.
Timmy!
Hey, what's Ask a Capper doing in South Park? And before anyone gets mad or offended, yes, I asked Ask a Capper if I could do that, and Chuck sends his blessing. The SPAS-12 has returned for Modern Warfare 2. But the question many of us want to know is if the gun still kicks ass like it did back then. Well, the good news is it does. Yeah, I know. I'm reusing an old bit from back in my Modern Warfare 2 reviews. But to be honest, it still cracks me up. To start, the SPAS-12 is now semi-automatic rather than pump action. The gun fires as fast as you can pull the trigger, however you're limited to a fire rate of 313 RPM. Like all shotguns, with each pull of the trigger, the SPAS fires 8 pellets. Each pellet does 30 to 10 damage. You'll need to hit with 4 pellets up close and 10 at long range for a kill. Generally speaking, the SPAS should be a one-hit kill up close, as half of the buckshot tends to hit, but the nature of the spread of the pellets is random. It can be a 1 to 2 hit kill up close and about a 3 hit kill at the limits of the shotgun's range. As you can guess though, the range of the weapon is poor like you'd see on any shotgun.
Dude, we suck!
The damage starts to drop off at about 8 meters. Like most of the shotguns, once you reach a range of 15 meters, the damage drops to 0. You'll just have to play with the SPAS to get a feel for where this range is. It's always bugged me that the shots just disappear. But hey, who says Call of Duty has to make physical sense? Just keep this range limitation in mind when playing with the SPAS. This gun is designed more for maps like Havana or Nuketown, where you have a lot of close quarter fighting. Up next is the random stat sheet, and yes, I need a better name for this. To start, the SPAS has low penetration power, which makes sense. I'm pretty sure you're firing buckshot, which isn't exactly known for high penetration power.
Are you mocking me?
The crosshairs on the SPAS are actually kinda big for a shotgun. The SPAS is tied with the Olympia for biggest crosshairs on a shotgun. Does this really make a difference? Kinda. With a shotgun, you can view high spread as a blessing or a curse. If the spread is large, you're more likely to hit your target, but less likely to kill. If the spread is small, you're more likely to kill, but less likely to hit. To me, I think all of the shotguns come with crosshairs that are relatively small. The size of your shotgun crosshairs really dictates how good you can be at long range. If you do want to be able to kill foes at the limits of the gun's range, then maybe the SPAS isn't your shotgun of choice.
Well, stop the presses! You figured that out all by yourself, silly buns?
The raise and drop times are as follows. The SPAS raises in 0.75 seconds and drops in 0.75 seconds. For a shotgun, these are pretty standard. Not much to say, so I'm moving on. The SPAS aims down the sight in 0.2 seconds. It's the same ADS time as on the SMGs and the other shotguns. You aim down the sight plenty fast, so Sleight of Hand Pro is far from a necessity. If anything, I think aiming down the sight is a detriment. The difference in the spread of your pellets isn't really all that noticeable. I'll touch on this more in a bit. Continuing with the review, up next is the reload times, and on the SPAS, the reload times are very unique. You see, the SPAS doesn't have a regular and empty reload time since it reloads individual shells. When reloading, your first shell takes 1.5 seconds to enter the gun, and about 0.6 seconds for each subsequent shell. The takeaway point here is that once you get past the first shell, the gun reloads pretty quickly, so I honestly don't think Sleight of Hand is a necessity.
Oh, thank you, Lord! Praise Jesus!
The recoil profile is as follows. You have a value of 75 to the left, 85 to the right, and 95 to 100 upwards. The kick after each shot is distinct and strong. This is yet another reason why you shouldn't aim down the sight. The kick is awful, and additionally, the center speed doesn't help. Coming in at 1200, the center speed is really bad. Granted, the rate of fire is low, but that doesn't make much of a difference. The kick is ridiculously strong if you aim down the sight, so I advise firing from the hip exclusively. Need another reason to not aim down the sight? How about the irons?
You suck!
They're disgusting. Seriously, just don't do it. The SPAS excels at hip fire, and I don't see the point in handicapping yourself with tons of kick and horrible irons. With the irons out of the way, let's take a look at the attachments, or attachment I should say. Suppressor. God, I love it when a gun has one attachment. It takes less effort on my end. Anyway, coming back to the suppressor, this attachment removes your red dot from the enemy's radar when you fire your gun. Normally, when I talk about the suppressor, I also say it kills the effective range, but that's not so on the SPAS. Using the suppressor doesn't affect the range of your shots, so I really feel you're crippling yourself if you don't use the suppressor.
Kicking with a nigga while having his wife for dinner. Now the silly nigga wants to bust. But fighting is for chumps, then you know. In the 9 Joe, it's all about that fofo. And can't stop it when bad apples in the bunch.
Dear God, I'm going to hell for this review, aren't I? Oh well. It's really hard to argue against using the suppressor. The gun sounds cooler and the red dot can be used to lure enemies to you, but honestly, these are the only reasons I can think of to go unsuppressed. Just use the damn attachment, you get a stealth bonus, and no penalty. With that out of the way, up next is the perks. I've got to admit, choosing your blue perk is really difficult. It depends more on what you want from the class. If you want mobility, go with lightweight. If you want to be a bit more stealthy, go with ghost. If you want to be flat out aggressive and walk through claymores, then I advise flak jacket. If you have ammo issues, which I understand some people might have, then I advise scavenger. I'm not trying to sit on the fence on this issue, I just don't feel all that strongly. Here's me when it comes to choosing the blue perk for this gun.
Budget.
The red perk is a different story though. I think your best choice is flat out steady aim. The base version is a nice bonus, you're more effective at the limits of your range. Instead of needing 3 shots to kill, you probably only need 2. The pro version is what I love though. Since you should be running and gunning, you will find the quicker raise time after sprinting to be incredibly useful. Obviously, you can also make an argument for sleight of hand. The reload times can be a nuisance, but I should stress that since you have 8 shells, you shouldn't have to panic reload frequently. For your green perk, I think it comes down to one of 2 choices. First is Hacker. The fact is, if you're going to play on the move, it helps to spot enemy equipment. This perk will save you a lot from campers. Your other option is Marathon. The extra mobility is a huge bonus, as you need to close the gap between you and your enemies quickly. If your enemy is not in the shotgun's range, the weapon is useless.
Level out, come on! That does it!
Overall, the SPAS is a good shotgun, and I definitely think it's the most popular shotgun, primarily because the 8 shell capacity makes it very user-friendly. I won't call it the best shotgun though. I think each shotgun can make a case for itself, well, exempting the master key of course. That thing can kiss the darkest part of my Amish ass. Try out the SPAS. You'll be amazed how much you can run amok in the enemy spawn if you have this in your hands. It's no boomstick.
Boomstick!
God, I love that movie. It's not the boomstick in terms of power, but it's definitely something to be reckoned with. With that said, let's see how it translates when we take it into zombies. I have to admit, in zombies, the SPAS kind of reminds me of the stakeout. It's a decent gun in the early rounds, takes a while to reload, and has about the same amount of power. I don't think it's anything special though. The number one problem it has is it only brings 32 shells. That's not enough. You'll run out quickly. It's not a waste to take it from the box, but it certainly is lacking. If you put this in the Pack-a-Punch, you get the SPAS-12.
Kimmer!
How many times have I used that bit now? I promise you, that was the last one. Anyway, the SPAS-24 is a decent enough shotgun. You'll get a 24 shell capacity and more ammo overall. It's great for plowing the road. This isn't a great money maker, but dear God, can you mow down the zombies with this thing. If you're lucky enough to have the cash for one of these, try it out. It may not last all that long, but dear God, is this thing fun. That concludes my review of the SPAS. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll join me next time where I'll be covering the Stoner. I'll see you there.